Today I want to talk to you about liquidation purchases, whether you're trying to purchase a liquidation pallet or a liquidation lot. A lot of people see it as an opportunity to make some fast money on Amazon, and I just kind of want to talk through a little bit about is it profitable, is it safe? If you don't know what that means, liquidation pallets or lots, a lot of times businesses will put together like a pallet just stacked full of inventory, and they'll sell the whole thing together. Sometimes you'll be able to kind of know a little bit about what it is, like maybe it might be all one certain category or it might be all one certain brand, but usually it's just like a bunch of random stuff, and you don't really know what's going on unless you're like actually there and looking at it, and you can kind of open up the kind of top boxes, but you don't know what's in the middle. So a lot of people like to purchase these because you can buy stuff pennies on the dollar and try to sell it on Amazon. I've got a few friends who focus on this as their main aspect of business, and they do really well. But today I want to talk to you just 4 tips, 4 things to understand when it comes to buying liquidation products, liquidation lots, liquidation pallets. So number 1, the potential for ROI is high. That's the first thing that most people look at. You know, you can buy things pennies on the dollar, you can sell it on Amazon. If you can't sell it on Amazon, you might try to sell it on eBay, but the potential ROI is really high. Usually liquidation, when they're selling something, you usually get it, 10 cents on the dollar, and you can make some good money. So that's one thing that a lot of people look at, and of course what the liquidators try to push and try to use to sell you on it, that you're getting stuff pennies on the dollar. The only thing is there's no real guarantee whether or not it's actually going to be profitable. We'll talk about that in a second. So number 1, most of the time the potential for ROI is really high. Number 2, the potential for throwing away or discarding items is also high. There are items that are going to be put into liquidation lots that you're going to be like, I can't sell this. I wouldn't even use this myself. I mean, there might be, maybe it's a health and beauty product that's been opened and it's spilling out, and maybe it's leaking, or maybe there's something it's a toy that's been crushed, and it's like it's in the middle of the liquidation lot or pallet, and you really can't see it. You're going to end up throwing away a lot of stuff. And so you might think that when you're buying a liquidation lot or pallet, you're going to get all this inventory. Well, you're probably going to throw a bunch of it away, or you might end up donating it to Goodwill because it might not be profitable to sell on Amazon or even eBay. So that's number 2. Number 3, liquidation. The whole business model of buying liquidation pallets and lots, it's time consuming. It takes up a lot of time. You have to go through every item one by one, and you have to, scan it to see if it's profitable. You need to double check to make sure that it's in new condition. If it's not in new condition, you need to sort it out to the different used conditions: acceptable, good, very good, like new. But it's also, kind of tricky sometimes because some stores will re-shrink wrap their items. And if you find an item and it's shrink wrapped, you assume it's new. Well, it's possibly that it's been used, re-shrink wrapped, and you're about to send a used item to a seller on Amazon. And that's a huge no, almost a negative feedback guarantee when you do that. And so then you're posed with the question, do I open it up? Do I open up the plastic and look inside to see if it's new? So it's really time consuming. You have to go through, if you have certain items that are food items or health and beauty items, you got to go through, check the expiration dates, make sure that it's not too close to the expiration date, or if it is expired, you got to throw it away or donate it or whatever. And so it's really, really time consuming. If you have people who work for you, it might be a profitable thing to look into, to be able to figure out and work through that for you, but I don't think it's probably the best use of your time. Yeah, don't donate expired products. That's probably not a good idea. But donating the rest of the products that you just can't sell. And number 4, and this is the big one for me, buying liquidation pallets, liquidation lots, it's just too risky. It's really risky, and it's risky for a lot of different reasons. The biggest one is you don't know if you're buying something in a liquidation lot that's a counterfeit item. And you know what? If Amazon has a counterfeit claim against you and Amazon comes to you and say, hey, where'd you get this item? We need proof of purchase so we can see it's really genuine. You're not going to have that. When you buy a liquidation lot, there's no itemized receipt that you can help prove where you got it from. And so that's something to take into consideration. You know, other times, you know what, you might haven't, like, a lot of people might think, you know what, I can recognize a counterfeit if I saw one. You know what, these days counterfeiters are getting better and better. Counterfeits from overseas, counterfeits from within the states, they're getting better and better at their craft, and so a lot of times you might not be able to tell the difference. But if you're buying directly from the manufacturer, from the brand owner, then you know that it's real, and you have a receipt that has all of the items that you bought itemized, and you can prove that this item really is real. And so there's a bunch of other risks that are involved too, but that's the biggest one for me. I don't buy liquidation items. I sometimes shop at liquidation stores. You can find out more about our liquidation store experiment. You can go to fulltimefba.com/liquidation. Kind of talk to you through. Rebecca and I go into a couple different liquidation stores and what we learned with that. But those are items we're actually looking at on an individual basis at a liquidation store, not buying a big lot of things sight unseen. There's a lot of websites out there that will sell you liquidation lots. There's and some of them, you know, they do their best, but for me, it's just too risky. But for you, what you need to do is assess your own risk. You know what, if you've you know, don't have any counterfeit claims against you, and you want to take the time to do this and possibly risk a few counterfeit claims, that's up to you with your business model. Like I said, I got a few friends who the liquidation lots and pallets are their main source of income, and they're still doing well. But they also have a team that's really they're really scrutinize and look into each individual item and make sure that it's still new. And then they also, I don't think they sell any used items. Those they just donate. So that's something to look into. Some things to think about when you are looking into possibly looking to buy liquidation lots or pallets. That's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. If you scroll down, you can like this video, leave us a comment or a question. And if you're curious about any of the links that we talked about in this video, you will find those in the description below. And as always, you can subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming new videos that we post all the time. And if you want to learn more about turning part-time hours into a full-time income with Amazon FBA, hang out with us at the blog, fulltimefba.com. Be sure you subscribe. You get a couple free downloads that help your business become that much easier. I'll see you there.